भगवते ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं गुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं तजीव साधैतं साधुतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललितां श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, welcome to this discussion on Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are right now in chapter 6. The title of the chapter is Dharma Yoga. In this, we have been dwelling on sloka number 1 to 9, Aru Shore to Aruda stage. And then slowly we completed uh, started the second part. And we were discussing shloka number 13 and 14. So this is part of realization of the Supreme Personality of God. Specifically, right now we are talking about realization of Brahman. In our previous class, we touched upon the shloka 2.55. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmani Evatman Tushta Sthita Pragnas Tadochate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when this mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. In the current context, when the yogi goes to forest to practice yogasana, he should not go with yogini. So there is no way mixing of sexes is allowed. This is required to ensure brahmacharya is followed. The word brahmacharya has two meanings. One is a technical meaning. We dwelled upon this last week. I'm just doing a recap so that we can continue on the same thread. Brahmacharya has a technical and a generic meaning. Technical meaning means it is associated with brahmacharis, specific ashram to the males, where the males do not get married and are fixed in pursuit of Supreme Personality of God as Brahman. Srila Prabhupada or Supreme Personality or pursuit of Supreme Personality of God. Srila Prabhupada will refer that simply bachelor are not brahmacharis. Those who are unmarried, the males, they don't automatically become brahmacharis. One should be living brahmacharya. One should be leading a life of brahmacharya. Brahmani charati iti brahmachari. That is what we tell. Brahmacharya, brahmacharya is a practice. Brahmachari is a person who is trying to live in Brahman, the spiritual reality. And this is brahmacharya. Technically, it is referring to the males who are not getting married and who focus on spiritual path. In generic sense, anybody who is trying to live in Brahman, who is trying to pursue spiritual reality, that person is brahmachari. The householders, females, those who are living in pursuit of Brahman, they are also brahmachari. So one stage is in one way, it is referring only to one set of males who are unmarried, and they are living a life of austerity. The other one is anybody. It could be brahmachari, grahastha, or women who are in pursuit of Brahman. In this context, Krishna is using the word brahmacharya in a technical sense. Sthita prajna tadochyate. When we go to this shlokan here, this brahmachari prate sthita is referring to this as something which where people do not engage in sexual indulgence and focus on pursuing spiritual reality. Generally speaking, the path of yoga in Vedic culture is followed by both um, by men, not by both, by men. Women, on the other hand, assist men. So, in that way, women are in the path of yoga in Vedic culture. In Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 13, text 53 to 58, the way Dhritarashtra practices, let us do that. Uh, so, this particular chapter is Dhritarashtra leaving to quits the home, quits his home. So Nagamuni is coming and explaining Yudhishthir Maharaj that his uncle has left to forest because Yudhishthir Maharaj is perturbed when he sees that his uncle is not available in the palace. So Nagamuni is telling to Yudhishthir Maharaj, O king, your uncle Dhritarashtra, his brother Vidura, have gone to the southern side of Himalaya mountains. Now, in this shloka number 53, we can see Dhritarashtra is now engaged in beginning Ashtanga Yoga by bathing three times daily in the morning, noon, and evening, by performing the Agnihotra sacrifice with fire, by drinking only water. This helps one control the mind and senses and frees one completely from thoughts of familial affection. One who has controlled the sitting postures and breathing process can turn senses inward or toward the absolute personality of God, thus become immune to contaminations of modes of material nature, namely mundane goodness, passion, and ignorance. The Ardhastra will have to amalgamate his pure identity with intelligence and then merge into supreme being with knowledge of his qualitative oneness as a living entity with supreme Brahma. Being free from the block sky, he will have to rise to spiritual sky. He will have to suspend all actions of senses, even from outside, and will have to be impervious to instructions of senses which are influenced by modes of material nature. After renouncing all materialities, he must become immovably established beyond all sources of entrances on the path. O king, he'll quit his body most probably on fifth day from the today, and his body will turn to ashes. While outside observing her husband, who will burn in the fire of mystic power, along with his thatched cottage, his chaste wife will enter fire with rapt attention. We can see here that Gandhari is helping the Rashtra practice this yoga of called as Ashtanga Yoga. In this, there is a brief discussion on food that the Rashtra is taking, which is little bit of water. Then he is practicing asanas. Then he is doing breathing control. By doing this, he is able to control agitation of his senses. He is able to control the movement of his mind. Therefore, he is able to focus inwardly. When he does that, the influence that he gets from the three modes of nature is coming down. And finally, because of the yogic power that he gets, he uh, is leaving this body and traveling to spiritual sky. And during in that process, the body burns, and in that fire, Gandhari also gets merged. So Dhritarashtra retires to the banks of river Saptoshrota, and then he practices. So he has to practice in a place where there is a calmness available in the environment. He goes with his wife so that wife can assist him. Generally, um, male and female, when they go, they get disturbed in the senses. Therefore, it is always recommended for men to go alone and practice Ashtanga Yoga. Absolute practice of austerity in terms of sex indulgence is very important. If we indulge in sex, then the practice of yoga becomes futile. Now, Srila Prabhupada in this purport of 6.13 quotes a very important shloka from Yajnavalkya. And this specifically talks about the control of or the celibacy, control of sex impulse or celibacy. In the rules of celibacy written by great sage Yajnavalkya, it is said, Karmana manasa vacha sarvavastu sarvada sarvavastasu sarvada sarvatra maituna tyago brahmacharyam prachakshate. The vow of brahmacharya is meant to help one completely abstain from sex indulgence in work, words, mind, at all times, under all circumstances, in all place. Sarvatra, sarvada, always, sarvavastu, in all places and circumstances. Karmana, action, mind, and vacha is words. No one can perform correct yoga practice through sex indulgence. Brahmacharya is taught, therefore, from childhood when one has no knowledge of sex life. Children at the age of 5 are sent to Gurukula or places of spiritual master, and masters trains the young boys in strict discipline of becoming brahmacharis. Sex is a physical activity which drags our consciousness also to physical level and retains it in that state for a very long time. If our goal is to raise the consciousness to the higher reality, the vital role that one has to follow is brahmachari pratestita. Brahmachari pratestita, which is complete abstinence from sex life or complete celibacy. One should be situated in the vow of celibacy. Srila Prabhupada is in the purport is also talking about higher taste. Vishaya vinivartante nir aharasya dehina rasavrajam rasopi asya param dristvani vartate. Whereas others are forced to restrain themselves from sense gratification, a devotee of the Lord automatically refrains because of the superior taste. Other than the devotee, no one has any information of the superior taste. The point Krishna is making here is that entire system of yoga is to fix the mind upon him and then attain him. That means manasam mana samyamya machita yukta asita matpara. That means one should regulate the mind. Krishna says that after regulating the mind, fix the mind on Krishna. When yogis fix the mind on him and then attain him, um, that means they fix the mind on super soul. Krishna is here emphasizing that super soul and Krishna himself are no, they are not different. In fact, Krishna is telling that this Matpara, which is the super soul in him, in every yogi, is nobody other than Krishna himself. That is why he is saying, fix the mind on him. This is the first reference of Krishna to himself in sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Till now, he has talked about multiple topics like equal vision, realization, seclusion, brahmacharya, parigraha, and so on. This is the first time he's telling, fix the mind on me. When yogis fix the mind on super soul, they may not realize that this super soul is the ultimate goal. That reality is the ultimately, this is the reality that is ultimately to be realized. This depends on the path they are following and the concept of absolute truth that they understand and follow. Whatever concept the yogi follows, they have to fix the mind on some center. So either generally it should be um, so when they initially try to concentrate, they fix the mind on tip of the nose, then mind because the mind needs some object of meditation. This object of meditation can be Krishna. If Krishna is there, then it is easy for them to regulate the mind because Krishna himself is telling, fix the mind on me. Manasamyamya machito yukta atisa asita matpara. The yama, okay, so samyamya. So we need to follow, regulate the mind so that we fix our concentration, Krishna. And yogi in here fixes the mind on Paramatma, but he does not know that Paramatma is the absolute truth. The Yama and Niyama stage of Ashtanga Yoga have five elements, and these five elements have a specific aspect. Let us see that. Let us look at the fruits of Yama. These are few things which we need to follow. Yama Niyama stage of Ashtanga Yoga have this type of five elements. Now, the first element in Yama stage is Ahimsa. Ahimsa means uh, the others give up their enmity to us. Krishna mentions Ahimsa in multiple places within Bhagavad Gita. Also, Srila Prabhupada explains Ahimsa in the purports in multiple places. In this material world, to some extent, Ahimsa cannot be avoided. To some extent, violence cannot be avoided. When we eat food, some germs, some microscopic organisms, and some small organisms get killed. When a person takes to the path of renunciation, at that time the person should follow ahimsa. The Vedic culture is made such that it causes minimum violence to others. However, there are times when minimum violence we cannot avoid. Ahimsa means no violence at all. This is regular. This is for regular human beings. In case of Kshatriya, he has to kill the miscreants as a part of his duty to protect the citizens. Therefore, Patanjali is in this Yoga Sutras also gives the benefits of following these yamas. The benefit of following ahimsa is that others give up enmity towards us. When they see that we are not violent, their violence towards us decreases. Following ahimsa results in others giving up the violence towards us. Therefore, one thing is that ahimsa can be followed by a king to some extent. But if the miscreants go beyond the control, then he has to use the violence. The next important yama is satyam. When we say um, truth, when we say satyam, we will be endowed with power and that will come true. Speaking truth is a virtue recognized by all religions. People who habitually speak lies to get their way eventually find that their way is obstructed by lack of trust which others have in his words. People find out that this person is not trustworthy. We can fool around some people sometime. We can fool around some people all the time. We can fool around all the people some of the time. But we cannot fool all people all the time. People eventually find out. Even if they don't exactly catch us, they realize that this person just plays around with truth, plays games with the truth. Satya is an important virtue even in material sense or mundane morality. In yogic morality, also, this has a major role to play. According to Patanjali, when we speak the truth, what we say will be endowed with power and will come true. There are different names associated with the word Satya, like Satyavak, a person who speaks truth. Satya Sankalpa means one who desires, whose desires come true. This one, Satya Sankalpa, is one of the attribute of Lord. Then Satyavrata is a person who keeps Vrata that he will speak only truth. The person speaks truth, or whatever the person speaks, whatever he speaks becomes the truth. This is the power which comes from this person. The person speaks cautiously and seriously, makes others respect the person and also respect the words of that person. In case of Krishna consciousness, as a devotee of Krishna, we should speak truthfully about the absolute truth. Then next important thing is asteya. True wealth shall come to you. True wealth shall come to you. Steya means steal. The tendency to steal is not there. This means he acquires true wealth. This is the fruit of following asteya. Asteya means one who possesses the true wealth. He need not have to steal. Whatever comes to him, that is his true wealth. Next important point is brahmacharya. So one attains power at one level, it is non-intelligence in sex, and at another level, it is to live in spiritual pursuit. So when one practices brahmacharya, one acquires power. Basically, human being has power, and as a spiritual being, also we have power. When a person engages in sex, that energy gets dissipated. Apart from the social complications, emotional entanglement, physical debilitation, medical sickness that can happen due to indiscriminate sexual activity, these are all some of the problems. The beyond physical level, at subtle level also, there is a power this gets dissipated in sex. Instead, if it is conserved, if this power is conserved, it is manifested in different space like creativity, concentration, clarity, intellectually radiant, spiritually potent. There are Shaktis like Dharana, Vicharana, and Vani. All these Shaktis improve. Srila Prabhupada even told that Gandhi was successful in his leading India towards independence, although he had no weapons because he was practicing brahmacharya in his household wife. He got this power from, from brahmacharya. Now, in 6.14, um, Krishna is telling Prashantatma Vigatabe Brahmachari Vrate Sthita Manasamyamya Machito Yukta Asita Matpara. So Krishna is telling that we need to follow the brahmacharya uh, in order to realize Paramatma. If we don't practice brahmachari, it is not going to, it will not work out. That is one important part. Next important thing is aparigrahan, insight into the karmic cause of our present situation, as well as the way our present actions will impact future. Yogi yunjita satatam atma rastisthita ekaki yata chittatma nirashe aparigraha. So this means what we will be able to see things truly. Otherwise, one just runs around and checks if I can get this or get that. This results in a possessive mentality. The one who is aparigrahan he has non-possessive mentality. Therefore, this helps him to think deeply. We'll be able to attribute our possessions to karma when we follow aparigrahan. We do not see things as just events. When Haridas Thakur departed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Krishna, being merciful, gave me the association of Haridas Thakura, and Krishna, being independent, broke that association. This is this is seeing things in broader connection rather than seeing in isolation or isolated event. This way, we get insight into the causes of various events and karmic reaction from different events. This way, we start understanding things from a deeper perspective. When we are not caught up in possessing different things, then we can see things in deeper perspective. So, aparigrahan means a clear understanding of the karmic cause of present situation as well as the way our present actions impact in future. Therefore, the person with the proper following of yama as ahimsa, satyam, asteya, brahmacharyam, and aparigrahan. Aparigrahan is talked about in shloka number 6.10, which says, Yogi yunjita satatam atmana rahasi sthita ekaki yata chittatma nirashe aparigraha. This Bhagavad Gita introduces topics of Ashtanga Yoga. Does Arjuna know this yoga system? Because Krishna is explaining this yoga in not a deeper sense, but where it touches upon only two of the five topics of Yama. That means Krishna is trying to bring uh, some concepts from the yogas to make his point. Thus, Krishna does not give a detailed analysis of yoga. The topic discussed by Krishna are elaborated to the extent that the practitioner can compare and contrast with Ashtanga yoga, this Ashtanga yoga with Bhakti yoga. Krishna's objective of Bhagavad Gita is to not delineate one path. Krishna's objective is to make Arjuna understand the best path to go back home, back to Godhead is fighting for Krishna. And Krishna's objective is to make Arjuna understand the best path. With respect to Bhakti Yoga, also, Krishna does not do a complete delineation of Bhakti. Nectar of devotion given is written is a Gaudiya Vaishnava text which gives elaboration of Bhakti. Bhagavad Gita, if you see, is an emergency book. It is spoken in the battlefield, specifically to Arjuna, who knows about these three parts like Bhakti, Jnana, and Ashtanga Yoga. It is not spoken in a Gurukul where Guru is leisurely instructing the disciples uh, in the technicalities of everything around that. That is not what is happening. But Bhagavad Gita expounds different path. Bhagavad Gita explains what Arjuna has to do, which path Arjuna has to follow. Krishna explains the pluses and minuses in each path and then tells which path is best for Arjuna. Krishna prioritizes the path of action more than the path of renunciation. Then, with the path of action, Krishna compares Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, and then finally recommends Bhakti Yoga. As a serious student studying BG, we must understand that Krishna is explaining general principles of different yoga system with the main objective of convincing Arjuna to fight the war. Krishna thus references the roots of Yama briefly and does not deeply dive into the all the five aspects, but touches upon brahmacharya and aparigraha. So we will stop here. We will discuss the next set of topics related with this shloka only. This shloka is also um, requires a deeper elaboration so that people who listen to this audio will be able to answer all questions pertaining to this shloka and will be able to deliver a beautiful class when devotees engage the hearer in explaining 6.13 and 6.1. Thank you very much. Vachakalpatarubhyascha कृपासिन्धुभयेर्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज भगवद गीता की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे कृष्ण।